In this tutorial, we're going to go over a new feature in Voomly called the Timeline. You'll see here that I'm looking at a course in the Courses tab, and the new feature appears right here, Timeline. Let's click on it, and now you'll see a few things. You'll see the timeline here. We've got 0 date, and everything is starting by default on day 0. Then I've got 2 days, 4 days, 6 days, 8 days, etc. And then over here, I have timeline settings. I have a global time frame, which can be turned on and off, by the way, as well as a per student time frame. Likewise, this can be turned on and off. Now, for global, this applies to everybody, no matter when they sign up. The course can have a start date and an end date, as well as a last chance to order the course date. Now, these are fixed. It doesn't matter when the student signs up, these dates are going to apply to them. Now, the per student time frame applies only for each student. For example, in this case, the student would have 180 days to complete the course. So if they sign up on March 30th, they've got, it looks like, 6 months or so to complete the course. But if they come along in May, June, or July, that 180 starts on their start date, okay? And that's unless there's an end date that interferes with it, because remember, the end date applies to everybody. So keep that in mind when you set the last order date. After all, it wouldn't be good business to allow them to order 3 days before the course ends and then cut off access in 3 days, when really they should have a good 180 days to complete the course. So let's create some settings here. Let's start our start date for the 1st of April. And let's say it's going to be a 30-day course, okay? So we're going to make the end date April 30th. Now, when is the last possible date that you want them to order the course? Yeah, maybe you're selling it in March and you want them to start April 1st. Maybe you want to allow a couple days for some stragglers to come in. So let's say April 3rd would be the last date that makes sense for the stragglers to come in. Now, per student time frame, we want them to have a good 30 days or so, right? Now, if they order on April 3rd, they're only going to have 27 days to complete the course. We probably don't need to turn this on in this example, but we certainly could. So let's say we're going to give them 27 days to complete the course. So that allows the people that sign up late plenty of time to finish by April 30th. And that gives the students that sign up on time 27 days and then a few extra days, okay? So let's go ahead and click Save. So now, we've given them all this time to complete the course. Do we want to overwhelm them with everything, or do we want to have them focus on certain content, week 1, week 2, week 3, etc.? So what we want to do is, obviously, the introduction should take place on the first date. So let's have them do the first welcome part on day 0. And then we'll move these other sections over for the next day. And then here by the 4th day, they can take a quiz. And now we'll move all of the second section of the course to a few more days out. To move it, you just simply put your mouse over this little handle and just drag it over. Now you'll see I'm getting towards the edge of the timeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little minus button to shrink the timeline a bit. And now you're going to see a few warnings here. The specified duration of the course is shorter than the course itself. The lessons and quizzes drip feed will begin from day 3 for all users. So what I want to do is make sure that these last lessons fall within this appropriate shaded bar area so that they have sufficient time. And then also, the student might not have enough time to finish the last lessons or quizzes, so please consider giving the student more time. So I can either bump up my date, or I can move these sections to a little safer area. So now my students have plenty of time because I've moved these over. So I may want to make a few more adjustments. Maybe I have two lessons a day for a while. As you're adjusting your content, if you have a series of lessons that you want to move all at once, a handy tip is to press the Shift button, and as you drag it, everything below the one that you're dragging will move, okay? So that's a quick and easy way to move multiple items at once. And now that I've adjusted my course and taken into account this ending period here, my students have plenty of time to complete the course in the prescribed amount of days and the global time frame. Next, I'd like to show you what happens with these different time frames from a student's perspective. So over here, I have the course itself. And you'll notice when I go back here, the start date is April 1st. Well, today, right now, when I'm recording this video, it's March 31st, okay? So the course hasn't started yet. So if I were to log in, I get this screen, course is not available yet. It starts on April 1st, stay tuned, okay? So I'm gonna log back out, and I'm gonna go back into Voomly and change the start date so that you can see what happens when it's the appropriate date. So let's turn the start date, let's say March 28th, so it's already started. So I can view all of these lessons here because they're available to me based on the date. However, these lessons down here are not available because April 2nd hasn't arrived yet, okay? April 5th, April 7th, April 9th, and so on and so forth. And that's all based on the settings that we created back here. So using this timeline to drip feed your lessons to your students is a great way to keep them engaged and coming back along a specified schedule. And that's the basics of using the timeline. Thanks for watching.